Hello friends, welcome to my channel Go Digit. As you know that last week we have learned that how to call an API and fetch out the data from that API. Okay, so this was the page which we have checked last week, and when I click on actions and click on HTTP connect, here you can see that data is coming up from that particular API. Okay, so these are the two results which we have checked. Now in today's video, although we have successfully managed to call an API and fetch out the data using the get function, but still as we can see from the result in the message box, that data is coming up in the JSON format. Now our next step is that how to read this JSON data and store it in the Navision tables. Or sorry, I'm using the wrong naming convention. It is not Navision but the Business Central. So although we have this data available, now we will see how can we use the native functions available in the AL language and call it to read this data and store it in a table. Okay, so let's begin with that. For all those who don't know or who have recently joined, I just want to inform you that from the past 2 weeks, we are uh, working on the JSON file. So in the first video, we have learned how to create the JSON file from the scratch using the AL language and how to write the data in it. Then in the second video, we have checked out this free public API website which contains the data in the JSON format, and then we connect to this API and fetch out the data using the get method. And in the third video, whatever the data we are getting from this website in the JSON format, we will read that JSON format and store it in our custom table. Okay, so as you can see, we will see this function or this page users. In this page, as you can see that we have this complete JSON file or JSON data available, and let's say we have this results like ID is equal to 1, name is equal to this, username, email, and then address also in another braces. So it is in itself a separate object. So what we will do is that as soon as we provide an input of ID is equal to 1 in our custom table, system should fetch out the rest of the values of like name, username, email, and street and suit and something like this from this API automatically. Okay, so let's begin writing the code and see how can we do the same. Just to not to make the video longer, I have already created the custom table called API table. So as you can see, when I click on this, we have this page available called API table list, and when I click on new, and here we have this card page available. Now every time user will input any value in this ID field, for example, if we press the ID is equal to 1 here, then and when we press enter, system should connect to this API and get the values of name, username, email, street, and suit. Okay, I have picked up these four values because the name, username, and email are the part of this main JSON. Okay, but if you see, the street and suit are not the part of the main JSON object but the part of this address object. So we will see that how to read this data also, which is coming up or which is available in the main JSON object file, but we will check out that how to read the subset of the main JSON object. So as you can see that street suit could be considered as the subset JSON object of this main JSON object. All right. So let's begin writing the code. We have this Visual Studio Code opened up, and we have this last time we prepared this function of API Connect. So what we will do is that we will copy this function and paste it here. Now let's change the name here and let's name it that JSON read and write. Okay, so this is the function which we're gonna create. Now head on to the your custom table, and as our requirement is that as soon as user input the ID field on its validate, system should fetch out the rest of the values of the table. Okay, so what we can do is that we can input the trigger on validate here, and let's call the our code unit JSON write. Okay, so this is the name of our code unit, and here we will call our custom function name as JSON read and write. All right, but now what our requirement is that as soon as user input this ID, so we need to pass the value of this ID to this function. Okay, so what I can do is that I can pass the ID field in this function. Also, we want that all the fields of this table will get automatically updated as soon as user input the ID. So I can also call this, let's say, this complete table here, or rather than making it confusing, let's call one record here only. Okay, so that's it, that's what we need. But now the thing is that this function is giving me an error. Why so? Because if you go to your code unit, here we have not defined any parameter against here. So let's make it a parameterized table record API table. All right, so here we have created our function. Now next point is to write the code. So guys, I'm removing this second method here because we have already checked it at how to use the different methods to get the same code kind of results. Okay, so in this video we will use the method one. Okay, so our idea is that along with this URL, we want to pass the ID also, right? So what we can do, let me share you the results what we get when we do the same kind of working in this main website where we have this JSON object. So currently when I'm on this URL, uh, in the users page, we have this all sorts of result. But now let's say if I pass ID is equal to 1. Okay, I'm sorry, I passed it wrong. I have to place question mark here, and as soon as you pass this, you get this kind of result, right? And when you press 2, you will get this kind of result. So same kind of thing we also want to do in our code. So the thing is that along with this main URL of which includes the user page, but along with this we want to pass the value of the ID. So how can we do that? What we can do is that along with this main URL, we can add our field value, which is api.id, right? So now this will be my complete URL which will use in the get method. So when system call this get function and go to this website, system will go to this website along with this parameter, which is API ID and whatever the value available in the ID field. All right. So this work is done, and now we are expecting that whatever the value of ID is, we will get the content of that particular ID only, right? So let me remove this part. This will be in the else condition, and let's say begin, and here, so the down part is our else condition, that in case the connection is not successful, then we will get this error. Now here what we have done is that we are checking that whether the response is successful or not. Okay, so if the response is successful, what we are doing, that we are copying the or we are passing the content available in the response object into the content object, into the JSON content object, or I could say HTTP content object. Okay, so now we, whatever the results we have, that result is stored here in the content. Okay, so next thing is that we want to read the content. uh, we want to pass the content available in this HTTP content object into this result text box or result text field. Okay, so whatever the content available in the HTTP content, we have now successfully passed it to this result text. All right. Now, because we know that the data is available in the JSON format, so the obviously the next step is that to store the content in the JSON object, right? So let's create one JSON object. Okay, and we have one function available called as read from. Okay, and when you press Ctrl Shift space, you will find that we can read the data into the JSON object either from the string or from the in stream. Okay, but we know that we have the data available in our result, which is a text field, so we can pass here the result. Okay, so as soon as you press or you pass the result in the JSON object, what it will do, it will pass this complete result into your JSON object. Okay, so as let's say user put the 2 in the ID field, and when this get function called along with this complete URL, you will get this kind of result. And now because of that line of code, because of this line of code, what system will do, system will store all this content in the JSON object. All right, so this means that in this our JSON object data type, we have the values available of ID, name, username, email, address, everything. Okay, the only thing is that now we want to fetch out the values of each field available in the JSON object. So to fetch out the values, we have one function available called jobject.get. And when you press Ctrl Shift space, you will find that it takes two parameters. The first field or the first parameter is the key. Key stands for this field name which is available in the JSON object. So whatever it is, ID, name, username. So you have to pass this complete field name into this key parameter. Okay. And the second thing is that whatever the result of that particular property will get stored in this JSON token data type. So as you can see that the definition is that retrieves the value of the property with the given key from a JSON object. Okay, so we know that because we already have the ID with us, the next field we want is name. Okay, and whatever the value of that name is, we want to store it in the JSON token data type, but we don't have defined this JSON token data type here or object. So what we can do, let's define one object called JSON token. All right, so here we have JSON token available, and now we can use it here, JSON token. All right, that's it. So this means whatever the value available in the name field in the JSON file, we are passing that value of this name field in this JSON token, if you want to learn it or understand it in a layman terms. Okay. So the next step is that now we can pass this name value in my table field. So let's call here your table field and pass it in the name. Okay, so how to pass it? Call this JSON token and press dot, and now we know that whatever we want to copy the value available in the JSON token, so we will select as value. Okay, but because let's say this name is our text field, so how we want to pass this value in my field? We have all this function available, like if you want to pass it as a code, as a date time, decimal, it totally depends on like what value is available in your JSON object. Okay, so we want to store it as a text, so let's use it as text, and that's it. So this means with this code, what we are doing, that first we are getting we are doing a connection with this website and along with this id value, and once the content is available, we are reading the content to the result text, and then from the result text we are passing that complete JSON result in the JSON object, and now we are checking each field available in the JSON object one by one and fetching out the values in the JSON token, and then passing the value to my table field. All right, so what we can do now is that we can copy this code and paste it. Okay, so let's do this, and here the next field we want is username. Please make sure guys that your name, which the key which you're providing here, it should be with the same fields or with the same caption. Okay, you should not change it, like here you have mentioned the username and you will type in your code something like uname or usenam. So not like that, you have to pass the complete caption. All right, so now we have passed the username here, and we can now call it the username here. All right, so let's paste it again. Here we have email also, so we can type email API. This is my table field, email. All right, so we have done this thing. Now let's say if I paste it another time, and if I write here street, and here I type it street, so will it run or it will give me an error? Because if you see this complete JSON result or JSON file, you can easily find out that street is not the part of the main JSON object. So if you type this line of code, it will give you an error. And why? Because it will give you an error that street property or street key is not available in your JSON object. because street is a part of this address key, right? So address key is the main key which is a part of your JSON object and not the street key, right? But because we know that street is a part of this address and address is the part of this main JSON object. So what we can do is that we, as from the result, we can easily track that street, suit, city is a part of this second JSON object. So we have this one main JSON object and street is a part of this second JSON object. So now how can we do this, or how can we fetch out the value of the street using our code? So it is very much easy, guys. So here one thing is that we know that address is a part of my main JSON object, right? Address is a part of my main JSON object. So this can be easily tracked, or this can be easily found by using this code. So now when we write this kind of code, so whatever the value or whatever the things or whatever the result is available under the address, all that complete is passed now to the JSON token or HTTP. Sorry, it's a JSON token object. Okay, so this means with that line of code, we are passing this complete street, suit, city, zip code, geo, because this is a complete JSON, right? So we are passing this complete result in my JSON token. But under the address, we want to call the street. So we cannot call it from this main JSON object. So what we can do is, let's create another JSON object and another JSON token. All right. So just type J token, because we have passed this complete results of available under the address tag into the JSON token. So type JSON token, and here you can see that is object function is available. So which indicates that it checks that whether the JSON token contains a JSON object or not. Okay, so first we need to check that, because we now pass this address into the JSON token and we understand from this result that address is something like this, complete. So first we are checking that whether this JSON token is a JSON object or not. Okay, so let's type this, that if it is JSON object. Okay, so what we can do now, that we can type new JSON object dot read from. Okay, so read from, and here, as we can, when we press the control shift space, we can easily check that it contains the, it takes the parameter either the text or the in stream. So we have one text variable already available called output, so we can use that because result is already reserved with the main JSON object. So but the thing is that although we have passed output here, but nowhere we have defined that from where we are getting the result in the output text. So the question comes that what we should write to pass the result in our output field. So it is very much simple, that we need to, what we need to write here is that press enter, because we know everything is available in the JSON token. So what we can do here is that we can type JSON token read from, and we also see that it takes both the similar kind of parameters. So what we can do, that we should, no, we should not write the read from, but we should write to output. Okay, so we have write everything which is available in the JSON token to the output tag, to the output text data type. So next thing is, because we have created one new JSON object, so we need to pass this new result into the new JSON object. Okay, so we have done this. So now only this result, only this result which is available in the address gets copied into the new JSON object. All right, so rest of the thing is very much same. We know that now we can easily write our code street and new JSON token and API dot street is equals to new JSON token dot as value dot as text. Okay, and similarly we can copy this code and type for suit. All right, so here we can type suit. So with this code we have now successfully read whatever the values we want in my custom table. Okay, so it's time to close this code, and here, okay, this is my main end. What I can do here is I can type another end and else. Sorry, else error, JSON token is not having the data available as JSON object, something like this. You know why we write this else condition? Because here we are checking that whatever the result we are getting from this line where we are passing the address tag into the JSON token, and we are checking here that whether the result is available as the JSON object or not. So if it is if the result is in the format of JSON, then this code will run. Otherwise, system will throw an error. Okay, so I think we are done with our code. So it's time to run it. So type or press Ctrl Shift B, and it will not only compile but it will create your package. Okay, so the next step is press Ctrl F5, and when you press Ctrl F5, system will deploy your object or deploy your extension into your database, into the Business Central, and thus you can check your results. So our new session of Business Central is already open up, but it is still taking time because when I click on the search button, it does not come up or it does not show me the search bar. So we have to wait a little bit. Come on, Business Central, open up. So it's open up now. So type the name of your page, which in my case is API table list. So it will open me up a list page, click on new button, and now if I let me remove this. So we have this users data available. So let's type 1 in the ID field. Press 1 or type 1 and press enter. So see, all the values gets automatically fill up. So whether the name is Leanne Graham, if you want to check, we can check it that the name is Leanne Graham, email is this, street is this, suit is this, so everything is same. If you want to, let's say, we go down and let's say type 5 here, press enter, and see the name of the ID5 is Chelsea Dietrich. So name is Chelsea Dietrich, username is Cameron, Lucio, Skillsworks. So everything is very much same. So guys, this is how uh, we have done reading the JSON data available in the separate system, different system, because in our case our data is available in this website and we call it or we fetch out the data using an API where we connect it using the HTTP data types, pass my required parameter against which I want my data, and then whatever the response I get from there, I store that response into the JSON content. Then from that JSON content, I read that complete data into the result text data type. Then from this result text data type, I pass this complete text or the complete result into my main JSON object. Okay. And from that, whatever the fields values I want, I was just typing the name of that key available in the JSON data and passing it into the JSON token. And from that JSON token, I'm passing the result into my table field. But only in this case, I took a different JSON object because as I told you that this street and suit were not the part of my main JSON object but were the part of this address. So that is why I took the different JSON object and then we did the same kind of activity which we have done above. And this is how we can read the data from the JSON file into my custom table or the standard table wherever you want that JSON data. Okay. So guys, I hope now we have completely understood at least the basics of JSON and how to use the standard data types available in the AL language to play with the API and to fetch out the data available in the JSON format. Okay. So next week, what we will do, I was checking out this Rapid API website, and guys, it is very much popular, I believe, and also it contains thousands of APIs which you can use to ease your task. Okay, so what I'm thinking of is that next week we will use one of the APIs, or should I say that the translation API is available here. So we will make the use of it and translate our content which is available in my custom tables at the runtime. So today, just like we did, what we will do next week is that we will pass first, we will type something like whatever the content we want to write in my custom table in English, and then we pass that content of English language into this Rapid API, one of the translation API we will use. and then we will get the response in the whatever language you want as your result. So whether you want your result in Japanese, in Spanish, so we will use that thing. Okay, so I just want you to, if you want to try, you can try it by yourself, because now we have already understood the basics of it. But uh, hopefully next week we will also try to generate the same sort of results which I've just explained you. So till that, I just want to say goodbye to all of you. And if you like my video, I request you to please hit the like button, please share my video, and please subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much.